In the 91st minute of Arsenal's win over Manchester United last weekend, Mohamed Elneny somehow found the energy to sprint from one corner of his own half to the other, pressing like a man possessed as United tried to pass it around the Egyptian midfielder. It's been almost 5 years since Elneny first moved to Arsenal, and yet his performance at the weekend felt like his true arrival as a first-team player. Like many of the players in the Arsenal dressing room, Elneny's Arsenal career once appeared to be over. Now, however, it seems as if the Egyptian has taken his chance under Mikel Arteta. Arteta knew Elneny's capabilities better than most, as the two were briefly teammates after the Egyptian first joined Arsenal in 2016. Since Elneny returned from loan this summer, the Spaniard has given the midfielder a chance to revive his Arsenal career. A chance the Egyptian has taken. After Sunday's game, it looks more and more likely that a Thomas Partey and Elneny partnership could be the future of Arsenal's midfield. While there will still be games when Arteta will prefer the technical abilities of Xhaka and Ceballos, Elneny has at least established himself as an intriguing option. Who knows where the future lies for the Egyptian midfielder? One thing that is for sure, however, is that his Arsenal career is nowhere near over. A thought that was unimaginable just a few months ago. Don't doubt the Egyptian. Others have, and have looked foolish for it. Elneny grew up in a smaller city outside of Cairo. His father, Nasser, was the biggest influence on his footballing career. He trained his son from the age of 3, even encouraging him to sleep with a football in his bed, with the message being, you have to be one with the ball. When Elneny was old enough, he joined an academy in Cairo. Every day, he'd make the 2-hour journey from his hometown to the capital, just to play competitive football. Eventually, Elneny joined his first professional team a few years later. It was there where he first met Mo Salah. Since then, the two players' careers have been intertwined ever since. Together, the two Egyptians traveled to Switzerland with Basel and eventually on to England, as well as becoming stars of their national team. Hamza El Jamal, a youth coach who worked with both players, always believed they were destined to play at the highest level. He highlighted their technical and tactical ability, as well as crediting their personalities in what made the two stand out. Basel was the first team to approach Salah and convince the winger to join them in 2012. They weren't, however, fully convinced with Elneny and told the midfielder he needed to improve before they'd be willing to bring him to Switzerland. For the first time in his young career, Elneny had to recover from a setback. Just a year later, however, Basel were convinced to take Elneny on trial after an impressive performance for Egypt during the 2012 Olympics. The rest is history, as Elneny went on to establish himself as a star in the Basel team. In his time there, he won 4 consecutive league titles, and slowly, other scouts from around Europe began to follow the Egyptian in Switzerland. In January 2016, Arsenal were looking to add a midfielder after a poor summer transfer window, in which they had failed to sign a single outfield player. Elneny was one of the many names on Arsene Wenger's list of potential midfield signings. The first Arsenal scout who discovered Elneny was none other than Francis Kagagao. Kagagao was sent to watch the Egyptian in action for Basel 3 times in person. Wenger, who had watched Elneny on video several times, eventually sat down with Kagagao and concluded that Elneny could prove to be a useful squad player. For years, Elneny was just that. He was a consistent performer under Wenger. Although he never shone during his initial few years at Arsenal, he was never exceptionally bad either. However, come the 2019-2020 season, Elneny needed a change. He had fallen out of favour under new manager Unai Emery and wanted an opportunity to play more regular first-team football. Even then, his preference was always a loan move. He had 3 years left on his Arsenal contract and had not given up hope of eventually reclaiming a place in the squad. Elneny eventually moved to Beşiktaş on loan and quickly established himself at the heart of their team. He played all but 4 games for the Turkish side and proved to be a key contributor in the team. This summer, Elneny returned to Arsenal with a level of uncertainty. He was at Beşiktaş when Arteta was appointed in December and was unsure whether the Spaniard would give him a chance at reclaiming a spot in the Arsenal first team. When Elneny arrived in London this summer, he was quick to arrange a meeting with Arteta. In a meeting at the club's training ground, Elneny impressed Arteta with his desire to stay and fight for a place at Arsenal. More importantly, he showed a tremendous desire on the training pitch, returning to preseason fitter than most of his teammates. The midfield was always an area that was going to be rebuilt this summer, and with this, Elneny sensed an opportunity. Furthermore, in a summer when Arteta was very much trying to implement cultural change at Arsenal, Elneny's positivity has been a superb addition. According to staff members, he has an air of positivity similar to that of Aubameyang. Like Arsenal's captain, his smile and energy is infectious. In addition, he is a selfless player who gives everything for the team. Listen to what Mikel Arteta had to say about the Egyptian after the game against United.
Well, obviously I play with him and I know his qualities, who he is as a person and what he brings to the sport. And I like a lot players that they have zero ego, that they play for the team, that they want to contribute whatever it is with 1 minute, 96 minutes, or just by being there and giving all the time positive feedback and contributing to our culture. And Mo is a person that is admired amongst everybody at the football club, and I think now is my respect as a footballer, something that I always believe that he has to do.
The zero ego Arteta talks about is the perfect way to describe Elneny as both a person and player. He is a huge star in Egypt with 4.5 million Twitter followers, and yet he has always remained humble throughout his career. As a player, he puts the team first and allows his other midfield partners to shine. Without a doubt, Elneny has established himself as the perfect personality to be a part of Arteta's cultural revolution at Arsenal. He fights for the shirt, his teammates, and the fan base. There's no better way to re-establish yourself in the Arsenal setup than what Elneny has done in recent weeks. He has revived what seemed like a finished Arsenal career. He has done so with his willingness to work hard and play without ego, as Arteta would say. Who knows what role the Egyptian will play this season? One thing that is for sure, however, is that whatever role he'll play, he'll do so with passion and commitment. Elneny fully deserves his second chance at Arsenal. Mark my words, the United game will not be his final contribution. He has a larger role to play at Arsenal Football Club, a role in which I believe will help return the club to its glory days.